Welcome to our discussion today on nervous system modalities like brain retraining, rewiring, somatic work, things that are more popular these days, and if it's even necessary. If you don't know me, my name is Chelsea. I'm an intuitive wellness coach and a former naturopathic doctor. I now help people by reading their fields basically and looking for the energy of what is behind the real root causes of their symptoms to help them reclaim their health, their joy, and their intuition. So today is more of a collective theme that came through from a client's question. And I actually wrote down my response to them as it was in our chat container. So I'm going to reference that. But basically, it's due to a larger energetic shift in the generations. So I'm going to read this out to you. So that generation that's been through more of that war, that trauma, their health is good overall. But what I was actually reading when I went into that was it's good for the most part because suppression can get you pretty far in the old paradigm. And that's exactly how it came through. In the old system, energetically, you could suppress it till the cows came home, is how I said it. And then all of a sudden, you get a heart attack or a stroke or something more appearing to be more acute actually comes up. Subsequent generations become ill for different reasons. And actually what also came through is that generations isn't the exact terminology that's most accurate. The more accurate term is like waves. So the next wave of souls. So a good chunk of people appear after that sort of wave where suppression can exist in the old paradigm, who are recognizing that suppression is not the way forward. However, and this is a big caveat, they are too afraid to change. They are too afraid to do it differently because there is no blueprint for that. They don't know how, and there's too much fear blocking that. And in this generation or wave, you'll see more conditions increase like cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, autoimmune conditions, multiple sclerosis. So things that immobilize and root from fear is how it was shown, which I thought was really interesting. So then after that, there's another wave, which would be considered more my generation and a little bit before, a little bit after, but this next wave is generally in that segment. And they're the ones where the new energy is here. The new is inevitable, is how it shows up. And I wrote that in capital letters, so it's very clear. The new is inevitable. There is no going back, capital letters again, no going back to the old ways. So the old ways of suppression, that sort of thing. You cannot suppress. It's basically not even possible anymore. That framework for the old energy does not exist, no longer exists. Which means this generation or wave of people, of souls, has a lot more flaring, a lot of irritation. Why are we the ones to do this? Why do we have to be the cycle breakers? Pushing up against the resistance of all that old programming. So it's more inflammation, allergies, irritable bowel stuff, just gut stuff in general. It's that power, taking the power back. There's resistance. And so it hits the gut space a lot easier. So that's why it's showing a lot of these types of conditions are more prevalent. Also, what came up is depression, suicide, etc. So I can't do this anymore because of that, what feels like immense responsibility to be a cycle breaker, to completely do it differently with basically no choice. Like I said, that new energy is so inevitable. It's here. There's no way to go back. So there's only the push forward. So it can be more intense. And that's why there's energetically, it shows more intensity that way. And this would be why nervous system rewiring, all these brain retraining things, the somatic work, all these modalities are more popular, are more mainstream now, because that amount of push and intensity with no going back. Like, you're doing this, you've got to figure it out, getting rid of all the old programming, fighting the resistance of that, moving past the fear. It takes a lot for the nervous system to be rewired for the new. So that is why a lot of people, it shows, may require a level of, hold on. When you're entering into the new, it requires the body to be upgraded to a certain level. And this upgrading is what we speak of when we talk about the nervous system modalities. So those of you may be doing it with the like brain retraining, rewiring work. And then, for example, what I do is a little bit of a different way. I'll do energetic approaches to adjust the vagus nerve, to adjust how that reads as fear versus safety in the system, going back into old memories, into ancestral lines to clear out the information that is holding someone back. So we all do it differently, but there's a huge focus on this type of theme and pattern, and that is why it is more prevalent. That is partially why it is more prevalent, is what I'm getting more accurately. That is partially why this is more popular now. The other reason why nervous system modalities are more prevalent now is because it's not as suppressed. Before, it existed in some form or some shape or some way, and now it is no longer suppressed. Again, that new energy pushes past that old. We're not doing it that way anymore. Here's the new way, here's a new approach, and you can use that to help integrate your system. So I hope that gives you some food for thought on that, some inspiration and encouragement. I know the energy is intense and we're moving through things very quickly and doing things, again, in a completely new way. If you feel at all resonance with this, please reach out to either myself or whatever supports you have, because we are meant to be working on things in a new way. And if you're not sure what that is or what that looks like for you, finding a support who can help you discern what is best for you and how that is done is likely your best approach, at least going to save you time, energy, and effort, so we can all move through this with more ease and end up in the end helping each other through it. So until next time, take care and always listen to that inner knowing.